Namaste, everyone. Welcome to this session about my personal success secrets. I'm super excited to share this with you today. This is my first session live from Bali. I'm still in a hotel room here while we're house hunting, so be patient with my not very stable internet connection, please. If I get disconnected, which might happen, I will just jump on the live again and continue the session and later piece the pieces together. Yeah, so let me know if you're here with me live. Please say hi in the comments and hi to everyone on the recording. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing. Hi, Sherry, welcome. So lovely to see you here. I'm glad this is working out so far. If I'm very quiet, you can maybe hear the jungle sounds in the background. Can you? Beautiful to be here in this warm weather and yeah, with this juicy topic. I'm gonna talk today about what success really is, right, for us as heartfelt, soulful women, as healers and aspiring healers. And I will also invite you to feel into what it means to you personally. I will talk about the connection between income, stress levels, and fulfillment, which is really interesting. And then, of course, I'm going to dive into the success secrets, the inner qualities, as well as the outer strategy. And then I'm going to invite you to receive your success vision for 2021. Hi, Tanya. Welcome. Ooh, London. That must be freezing at the moment. Welcome, everyone. Good, so let's dive right in. If you have any questions at any time, please pop them in the comments. Now, I get asked a lot about how I created the success that I enjoy today, especially from those who know my story, who know that I built my healing business from scratch in a very short amount of time at a very young age while being a single mom to a baby and with very little financial or practical support from anyone else and with a difficult childhood and lots of trauma as my starting point, right? But I did it, and I'm 29 now, and I own a six-figure business, and that's really quite something. So, how did I do it? Every time I get asked this, like I have to think a little bit. And basically it comes down to two different things. There's two parts to the equation, right? There is inequalities that I've honed in myself that have led me to the success. And then also, I just took the right kind of action. And when starting out, I didn't know what any of that was, right? What qualities I needed to hone in myself and what that right kind of action was. So I just wasted a lot of time, energy, and money on finding out. But I don't want you to. So I'll share my success secrets with you right now because I know that if I did it, so can you. Good. If there's anything particular that you are excited to learn, please let me know in the comments. Hi, Angelique. Nice to have you here. Do you ever get overwhelmed through all of this? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Don't worry about it. I do. If you want to ask me more specific questions, I'm happy to answer this in more detail. Good. So, what is success, right? So, what most people understand as success is to earn a lot of money through some kind of respected work and be recognized for it, right? And many people find out that if that's all there is, then this kind of success is often very soul-sucking, right? Like take my uncle, for example. He studied law, then he worked as a policeman for 13 years, worked all his way up, then he moved on to being a judge. That's one of the highest positions in Austrian society, and now he earns really well. He owns 2 houses, he has cats and chickens in the next door hobby garden, and he hates his job. He really hates his job, and he even hates himself for doing this job. And I feel really sorry for him because he's just such a good man. He has such a big heart, and he's doing this heartless job every day. And I just wish he'd quit and would go in search of what he loves. But I know that his sense of duty and responsibility towards his family prevent him from it. And probably also the fear that he wouldn't be good at anything else. But ultimately, His family really wants him, right, as the best version of himself more than anything else. But tell that to him. I've tried. Now, who knows what it's like to be in this kind of position? Let me know in the comments. Now, I definitely do. I really do. When I did fundraising for the Red Cross, which I did for 5 years next to my studies, I was making a lot of money, especially when I started to lead my own teams. But I just hated doing it. I was basically convincing people to do something that they didn't want to do. I mean, some of them did, but most of them didn't. And I was good at it, but it meant manipulating others, and it felt shit. I really hated doing it. And so I started to shut down my feelings and started to feel numb. And after the job finished, I always did this in the summer intensively for a few months. And then afterwards, at some point, it took me 2 whole months to start to feel something again. And that's when I knew I had to quit. And I had no idea how else I was going to make money, how I was going to support myself through my studies. But I just, had to trust life, that life would support me somehow. And I wasn't very trusting in life back then. But I already had my yoga practice to come back to, and it really guided me down the right path. More about that later. So, right, it's true, right? Success has a financial component, and respect can also be part of it. But I find that real success is just much more than that. Real success for me is soul success. It's fulfilling our sacred soul mission, our purpose, our reason for incarnating in this lifetime. So what that looks like is subjective to all of us. Now, I'd really love to know in the comments what success means to you. What does it mean to you to be successful? Tanya is asking if I'm in any kind of network marketing business. No, I am not. And is my business automated? Not sure exactly what you mean by that, but pretty much no, I think. If you want to expand on that question, I'm happy to answer in more detail. Yeah, so, let me know what success means to you in the comments. I'd really love to know. Like for me, I mean, I knew that I wanted to own a 6-figure business, but it wasn't mainly about the money. It was because I knew that it would mean that I could help so many more people, right? Also those who didn't pay me. And also that I could give myself the relaxation and presence and energy that I need to be the best version of myself, and especially also, of course, for my paying clients who come with me on a life-changing journey, and I want to honor it as much as possible. And that doesn't work if you don't earn enough, so you don't have the time and energy and relaxation and presence that you need for this kind of work, which is very intense after all. And I also knew that earning that much would mean that I get to help those in need, right? I love being able to give generous sums to several charities monthly, right? And what is your bigger mission behind all that healing work? I think it's similar for all of us. We just want to help make this world a better place, right? For all of us. And it's a simple fact that the more money we have, the better we can influence things on a bigger scale. And I know that some of us are frustrated and angry about the fact that this is how it works, but there's no use in that. That's just wasted energy. It's better to just accept it and work with it, using money as the beautiful resource that it can be. But money is just one part of it. Success to me also means that I get to do the work that I was born to do, that I love doing, that I can express myself through, where I feel competent and at my most loving and passionate, that I get to infuse what I do with my essence, that I get to be creative and call all the shots. So this type of success allows me to create my life on my own terms and be energized by my work as opposed to drained by it. Okay, so don't get me wrong, my work isn't easy always, especially when it comes to taking decisions, right? That's not what I mean. I mean, I have to refuse people sometimes who want to work with me. That is hard. I have to set prices that I know not everyone will be able to afford, and that is also hard. I have to invest again and again in my business before making that money back, and that is scary. But in all of it, I'm guided by spirit, right? These decisions are informed by spirit so that I can call in the right people, those that I can really serve all the way. Because as much as I'd love to help everyone with everything, I've learned that I can't. And that if I really want to make a difference, I need focus. But more about that later. Now, I want to tell you a little bit of backstory, but first let me check your comments. Time freedom is success. Ooh, I love that one, Sherry. Yes, that's a big part of it. And location freedom is a big one for me also. Angelique, I feel like my spiritual work isn't valued as it should be. I find it all starts with valuing ourselves. Once we really focus on our self-love and self-confidence, and then I find that, and we put the right price onto what we offer, I find that it attracts those who can, who can value it, see it for what it is, and who are happy to invest. Success means being recognized for the energy output. I love that, Angelique. That's beautiful. And seeing community come together and heal. Oh, that's a beautiful definition. I love it. Sherry, also, if I help this generation heal, the next one will need less healing. That's absolutely how I see it, right? That's why I focus on helping women, because women influence children, and children are the next generation, right? So automated means that you have a system that sells for you, where you do not have to be present live. Like you have yoga courses and classes that are recorded and people can buy them constantly, even when you're sleeping, let's say. So you mean basically if I sell DIY courses on autopilot? No, I do not. I have some DIY courses that I sell when I feel it makes sense for the collective, but mostly I focus on my apprenticeship, which is nothing but automated. It's and it requires my presence absolutely every day. But I'm gonna actually talk a little bit more about that later. Good. So now a little bit of backstory. So I was always a successful person in a way, or at least that's how others saw me. I was always capable and intelligent. I was top of my class in primary school already. Then I graduated top of my class from high school with higher scores than the school had ever seen before. Then I went on to study comparative literature and entrepreneurship at the University of Vienna, then creative writing in St. Andrews. Did it all in the minimum time possible. And then I was accepted into the Diplomatic Academy of Vienna. But then I actually left that university. Everyone thought I was insane after being accepted into that program. I left my beautiful apartment and my lucrative job because, in all of these success stories, my heart was missing. I was doing it all, with a mixture of intelligence and dedication and a lot of hard work and stress. And why was I putting myself through that? Well, partially because I wanted to impress my dad, because he only seemed to pay attention to me when I had achieved something. And partially because I had this dream of making the world a better place. And then one day it hit me really hard that was never going to happen if I didn't stop trying to find the solution within the system that had created the problems in the first place, right? So I needed to go beyond that system. And what made me realize this? It's the fact that everyone at the academy was just so unhappy and stressed, and that I was too, right? Trying to live up to these lofty ideals in elitist society. And the only place where I had found a peak of the beyond at that time was my yoga practice. So that's what I followed, right? So I left it all behind to do my yoga teacher training in India, and that's where I met my first shamanic teacher as well. So it all started to fall into place, and the rest is history. I trained as a shaman. I combined yoga with shamanism to help many more people all around the world online, and help them learn shamanic journeying with much more ease, and then go on to change the world as healers in their own right. So let's have a closer look at the development of shamanic yoga, because that's so interesting. So when we go to the year of 2017, when it all started, actually started a little bit before that time, around the time when my son was born, but like really for me to say, okay, I started a business was 2017. So I earned next to no money, so little that I never really counted, but definitely in the four figures. And my stress level at that time was like 95%, pretty much close to burnout and, nervous breakdown, like almost every day. And the fulfillment was like maybe 10% of what's possible. So my son was a baby back then. I was alone with him, and we moved around a lot because I couldn't afford any accommodation really. And my work had zero direction. I was working with pregnant women on a donation basis. I didn't have a real strategy. It was very time-intensive work. I often didn't have any clients. Then when I had them, it was really intense. And it just wasn't really my calling to work with pregnant women. And then 2018, I earned 11,000 euros. So still not much at all. My stress level still had around like 90 or 85%. But my fulfillment had gone up to like 30-35%. Because I switched my who I was working with, my ideal client avatar, away from pregnant women, and I created the transformation. So I was teaching shamanic journeying online to spiritual women who wanted to take their self-healing and self-care to the next level, and it felt great. I was getting much closer to my real calling, but I didn't charge much for it, and I had very little time for my son, and that felt very stressful. In 2019, I earned 33,000 euros, so I tripled my income from the year before, and my stress level went down to like 50%, and my fulfillment up to around 60%. So that's when the transformation became a best-selling program, when I raised my prices so people finally realized what I was really offering there, what it was really worth, what it could do for them. And then I was able to support myself and my son fully financially, and I finally stopped amassing debt. And I was doing what I loved, but I was still working way too much. And then 2020, last year, I made 100,000 euros. And my stress level went down to like 20%, although it was lockdown. My son was with me most of the time. It wasn't easy, but I didn't really feel stressed. My fulfillment went like up to 90% of what's possible. So I reduced my hours last year, and I managed to pay back all of my debt because I had tripled my income, right? And and I expanded the transformation into a full shamanic training with business coaching, and I was finally charging my worth. And that's when I finally landed at the heart of my calling as well, and there's just no better feeling. So I want to know in the comments what kind of success you want to create for yourself this year before I tell you my vision for 2021. What do you want? What do you want to have achieved by the end of this year? And I really want you to just close your eyes for a minute and feel into that. Take a few deep breaths and just take a glimpse at the end of 2021 and where you'd like to be by then, and then share it with me in the comments. Tanya says, I agree. Success is doing what you love, enjoy it, serve your mission, and being compensated for it. Yes. Love how you summed that up. It's beautiful. So let me know what your visions are for 2021 while I share mine. So my goals for this, my real goal for this year is to help even more women inside of the apprenticeship and get my message out there in a bigger way, which is why I'm co-authoring a book. And I want to get that fulfillment up to 100%. And with that, I know that I'll have to reduce my hours even more so that I have more time and energy for myself and be inspired to service on an even deeper level. I really want to expand my self-healing and self-care much more this year. So yeah, and that's why another goal of mine is to teach the scents this year. We're going through a collective descent at the moment, right? Where, an ascent is when we go up, we feel good, we experience growth. A descent is when we go down. It's like we have to let go. We experience sickness and death, like right now with COVID. And, a descent always is a journey of letting go, which is always good in the end, but it's not necessarily easy. But it helps to clear the field of lower frequencies, which is what's happening right now, right? We can measure the Earth's frequency speeding up a lot at the moment. We measure that with the Schumann resonance. And that's why COVID is just taking out all the lower frequencies. And yeah, and the thing is that there's a way to go down into the darkness with grace instead of being pulled down into it kicking and screaming like all of our societies are at the moment. And that's with the help of shamanic journeying, so that we can let go of what no longer serves us with ease and invite in what we want to experience instead. And that's what I really want to raise awareness on and teach, which is why I'm hosting the Goddess Initiation, my 2-week online retreat to meet the Dark Goddess, which is starting in 3 days. And I'm so psyched about it. But more about that later. Now, what I'd love for you to have a look at is this correlation between the stress levels, the fulfillment, and the income that I was sharing about. Did you notice that there is a correlation there? Ooh, here your visions are coming in. Sherry says, I would like to have a great start on a successful healing business so I don't have to work overtime at my job and well on my way to being able to leave this job. I love this vision, Sherry, and you're doing such a great job in the apprenticeship. I'm absolutely sure that this is possible for you and that you're going to do it. Angelique is saying, I feel I have success in starting co-op and women's circle, but I'm still burned out and not taking care of myself. This is where you have to start, right? Before you can experience success with helping others, to help yourself. And of course, you can get support in doing that. My vision is to move through grief and help my daughter move through losing her father to the spirit world, figure out how to take care of myself. Yeah, you have a big thing to take care of there, my love, but I'm sure that you can do it. It's in the tough times that we grow the most, and in looking back, we always know what the growth process was, and yeah, and how we can now serve others by making the same kind of experience easier. Now, I want to, like, it's basically like this, right? What I shared with you, like, the more you know what your true calling is, and the more you live it, the less stress you will experience in your life, and the more fulfilled you will be, and the more you will earn also. Did you see that in what I shared? Like, every year I was moving closer to my real purpose, to my real calling, and my stress levels went down and my income went up. So that's really beautiful. And that's why it's really key to get crystal clear on your calling, on your unique healing mission, before you go out there and offer your services. And that's just one of the things that I help you with in the Shamanic Yoga Apprenticeship. So before we dive into my success secrets, I want to invite you once more to join me for this opening of the apprenticeship if you are not in the apprenticeship yet, because I'm closing registration tomorrow in exactly 24 hours. And this is the only round ever that includes the live 2-week descent for free. So this initiation alone is really priceless. It's where you will descend into the underworld to shed what no longer serves you and then be reborn into your next level of power, purpose, and prosperity. Now, it will really be a truly sacred experience that will make you feel so much lighter and brighter, your path so much clearer, so many obstacles just melted away, a clear path ahead to create everything that you need to become a powerful healer with a successful business in the apprenticeship during the 8 months that you will spend with me and Barbie. So if you join us now, you will start with a deep dive into your own healing journey after the retreat by learning shamanic journeying to create an unshakable foundation of self-love and strong energetic foundations, a strong body, a calm mind, an open heart, and a powerful connection to spirit, which is really the foundation that you need to successfully work with others as a healer. And the second part then is the shamanic training, where you will learn soul extractions and energy extractions and power retrievals and soul retrievals to help your clients heal on the soul level. That's what shamanism is all about creating balance, right? We shed what never was ours to begin with, what no longer serves us, and we receive back what we actually need to be whole. So that's just amazing. That's how your clients will see amazing results from working with you. And the coolest thing about the shamanic training is that you have 2 live practice sessions there as well, and the option of creating your own meditation and ritual and present it to the group for feedback, which is awesome. That translates into a specific offering that is going to be really birthed from your soul. It's going to be your gift to the world, but then it manifests, right? And then I'll show you how to successfully sell it with soul as well, so that you can be financially successful from the start. So the way it works is every week you will have a specific daily practice, which is mostly just 10 minutes long. And then you will have a weekly training to complete, which is like 25 minutes to an hour long. And then we have weekly live sharing sessions and monthly moon rituals together as a group. So there's a clear structure, there's a simple layout, there's tons of support. You'll learn really fast and it will still feel really pampering and it will not take up that much of your time. I'm still holding clarity calls with those of you who are interested in joining tomorrow, so you can share more about where you're at, what you want to get to, and I can guide, like really help you to personally feel into whether this is right for you or not. So yeah, this is the last chance to get into my calendar, so I'll give you a minute to click that link in the description before I dive in with my success secrets. And I really encourage you to join this round. If you're thinking about joining, I really encourage you to join for this round because these times right now are so tough energetically. I'm sure many of you can feel that. And the descent is going to help you so much with dealing with that and actually growing from that, using this energy for yourself. And yeah, this is the only round of the descent that I'm going to do. And you get it for free. That's pretty cool. Good, so let's dive into my success secrets. So how did I get to where I am today? How did I do it so fast? Now, like I said, there's the inner qualities I've honed in myself, and then there is the right action to take. So let's start with the inner qualities. Let me know if you have questions at any moment, okay? The first really important one is self-awareness, right? You need to focus on self-awareness first. If you don't know what's going on with yourself on all levels, body, mind, heart, and soul, then it will be very hard to help yourself and others, right? And only with self-awareness comes clarity on your calling. So that's why I make my daily shamanic journey a non-negotiable. So if you haven't learned journeying, I highly suggest that you do it if you want to be successful on this path, right? Shamanism is the origin of all other healing work. It's really like, it explains everything. It's really the basis of everything. It explains to you how energy works, and everything is based on energy. So it's really beautiful. If you're in this group, shamanism is clearly calling you already. So start studying it so you can get to the next level. And the next inner quality that you really need to hone in yourself is courage. This path is not for the faint of heart, right? But it is worth it 1,000,000 times over. And the thing is, if you are here, chances are high that this is your destiny, so there's no escaping it anyway. All you can do is wait, and I've witnessed again and again that those who do, they don't end up doing so well. So when you feel called, then it's time. It's time to gather your courage and go. And you don't have to do it alone, right? Gather your tribe. And courage doesn't mean that you have to be fearless, right? It just means that you don't let the fear get in the way, okay? That you do it anyway. So if you feel like this is a problem and you're very fearful, then self-healing is what you need to do, right? Work with your inner child, work with shadow integrations, do chakra work. This is so important. Yeah, I integrate all of those into the apprenticeship because this is just a really important foundation that you need to work with others, your self-healing. Now let me know in the comments if this is all making sense. How long does this take every day for you, love? Do you mean my my shamanic journey? It doesn't take long at all, like 15 minutes perhaps. But my self-care practice starts in the morning I do my nasal cleansing every morning first thing when I get up, and then I do an asana practice, and then I meditate or do pranayama. So I take 30 to 45 minutes in the mornings, and then 15 to 30 minutes in the evening. When I do a short check-in journey in the evening, it's like 15 minutes. When I do a longer healing session on myself, it's like 30 minutes. I hope this was the question, Angelique. If you wanted to know something different, let me know. Now, another thing that's so important when it comes to the inner keys is taking full responsibility for yourself. If part of you is stuck in child mode, which I see a lot with aspiring healers, because we've mostly had tough childhoods, right? That's how we came onto this path in the first place. Then if this is still happening for you, then you will always feel like someone else or something else is outside of you that is the solution for your problems, but it's not, right? You need to heal your inner child and grow into your adult self fully if you want to live life on your own terms and work as a healer. So if you haven't done any inner child healing, then do it. It's so important. Yeah, that's also why I included in the first part of the apprenticeship, which is all about your self-healing. And another thing that is so important is trusting the signs that life gives you, trusting your inner guidance, right? And this you can really practice with a self-care practice that takes you deep within. Now I want to share with you what happened to me today, which was very crazy. Now today at the hotel where we're staying, the bathroom ceiling caved in. I had taken a shower just a few minutes earlier in the exact same spot. And then my inner voice told me, like word for word, don't wash your hair a second time, which is what I love doing. It said, don't wash your hair a second time because the ceiling will come down. And I thought, what? Like, why would the ceiling come down, you know? So my rational voice tried to subdue my inner knowing. But I've learned over time that shit comes down on me if I listen to my head over my intuition. So I knew which voice to trust. So I stepped out of the bathtub, I wrapped a towel around me, and then I heard this great crazy cracking sound, and my heart just bounded faster, and I started to run. I almost slipped. I picked up my baby kitten from the floor, and as soon as I was out of the bathroom, the whole ceiling came falling down. Like literally the whole ceiling. You couldn't put a foot into that room afterwards. It was full of that ceiling. I would have literally died if that had fallen on top of me. So yeah, if I'd listened to my head today over my instinct, over my higher self, over my inner knowing, then I'd be dead right now. So this is how important this is, right? So if you don't have a daily self-care practice yet that connects you to your inner guidance and makes you recognize the signs that life is giving you, then start one today, right? Shamanic journeying is the best option in my opinion, since it just means traveling consciousness. So you can get the clearest, deepest guidance and powerful hands-on help from your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, and your power animals. Good. Yeah, so that also included heart over head, right? Which is just so important. So don't let your thoughts get in the way, okay? That's what was missing in my earlier successes in life before shamanic yoga, right? My heart wasn't in it. And most of us need to first start to even feel their heart space again before they can really start to take decisions from the heart and live from the heart. But this is just a really important key, right? And this is also what you can focus on with a daily self-care practice. I even have a practice for you in this circle right here. It's called Out of the Mind into the Heart. It's one of my shamanic meditations, so check that out if you don't know about that yet. Good. Okay. And the last two inner qualities, one is so important, and I feel it's very different very difficult for us heartfelt women, is don't let anyone hold you back, right? So this is all about creating healthy, strong boundaries. Now, I'm sure that we all have energy vampires in our lives, right? Be that our children, our partners, our in-laws, our bosses, whoever it is, we need to know how to protect our energy. That's also why this is one of the first things that we focus on in the apprenticeship. It's how to clear your personal energetic space, how to magnify your personal energy, and how to make sure that your energetic boundaries are really strong and that you only let in what you actually want to have in your energy. Good. And then the last thing is what's so important is complete honesty with yourself. Like, there's so many ways in which we can self-sabotage and then lie to ourselves about it. And it's okay, right? You know, self-sabotage is, those are our coping mechanisms that have kept us alive and sane. But if we want to move ahead in life, then we need to recognize how we self-sabotage. And all that takes is, again, courage, right? And honesty. And, you know, I mean, my favorite way of self-sabotaging before I stepped onto my healing path was to feel stressed and keep myself busy. And I, of course, thought that, you know, that was a given. I wasn't creating that. That's just what my life was like, right? It was just so much to do. So obviously that made me feel stressed. But that just wasn't true at all, you know. I didn't even have a child at that time. Like, I had no real responsibility. You know, so I had to be just really honest about that with myself at some point. I just kept myself busy so that I didn't have to face my old wounds and traumas. So I wouldn't have to go deep with myself, so I could keep living this half-life that I knew on the surface, right? And that's the daydream that like 95% of all people in the Western world live in and never wake from. Luckily I did, and chances are if you're here that you did too. And I slowed down, and all of a sudden, you know, I had more time. So I stopped doing what didn't feel right, and I started walking down the scarier, the less traveled paths, and I was rewarded with rare jewels each time. But I continued to self-sabotage at the start of my business in another way. I had borrowed tons of money to support my son and I, paying for housing and food, although we lived a really minimalistic life, but it just added up, and I could have just as easily borrowed more money to support my business growth, but I didn't. I had this crazy idea that most new, well, wannabe business owners have, that my business had to first be profitable before I could justify investing in it. But it's actually the other way around. As every successful business owner will tell you, you have to spend money first to make money second. And if I'd found the courage to do that in 2017, if I had recognized that as the truth and invested in business coaching, then I would have had a highly profitable business 2 years sooner, and I could have stopped struggling financially at that point. So however you self-sabotage, just try to be honest with yourself about it. Think about that if you want to share it with us. Yes, self-sabotage is also a lesson for us, definitely, of course. But it means that we are keeping ourselves from what we could have, from what we could be, right? So the sooner we can stop, the better. Wow, I'm glad you listened to yourself. Yeah, me too, Tanya. My intuition is very strong as well, and I'm learning to listen to it more. Yeah, that's just so important. It can literally be life-saving, like I learned today. Yeah. So that was the inner part of this, right? The inner qualities, the energetic side, the yin aspect. Let's dive into the outer part, the action part, the practical stuff, the yang aspect. But first, let me know in the comments if all of this makes sense so far, if you have questions. I'm a little bit slow today. I think it's the heat. I'm just too relaxed to talk any faster. But I think I can finish in an hour and still give you lots of value. Now, while I wait for any questions that you might have, I'm going to dive in with the outer part. It's basically all about taking the right action at the right time. Taking decisive action is one of the most important things when it comes to being successful. So just feel into what the next right step is for you. Trust the signs and then go for it as soon as the chance presents itself. Don't waste the opportunities that you get, because they might not come again, okay? So don't hesitate when you know in your heart that something is right. Take the chance that life presents to you. Don't make excuses. Don't self-sabotage, okay? And the right action in business often comes with an investment in yourself and your business, and that's normal. So don't think that you will get there without investing your time and energy and money. You will not. I can guarantee you that, okay? If you are taking care of all of the inner aspects that we've talked about, then you will know what the next right step for you is. So listen to your heart and your intuition. and then boldly move forwards without hesitating. And when you figure out your next move, when you want to move into your next level as a healer, and you should always ask yourself this question: where is it exactly that I want to get to? What does my next level look like? That's the first question you need to get really clear on. Try to be really precise about this. And once you know, then it's time for the second question. What does it take for me to get there? What inner quality must I hone in myself? And what aligned action must I take? Okay? And if then you follow through on that, then you will definitely get there very fast. So part of the outer part to all of this is focused action, right? So one of the keys in doubling my income, tripling my income last year really, was that I focused on selling one offering to one group of people, right? My signature offering, the Shamanic Yoga Apprenticeship, that's all I focused on in 2020. And I focused on helping just that one group of people, those that I can best serve, aspiring healers. So before, what I did before when I was less successful, I just created a new offering every few months for different needs. And that just doesn't yield great results. And neither did it for my clients, right? Because I wasn't becoming an expert in one specific thing. Now, the second thing where I exercise focus in my life is in general, actually. Like, I have 3 things in my life that I really focus on. First, myself, obviously. It's my self-care, my self-healing, my self-enjoyment. Second, my son, taking care of him in every way, spending quality time with him. Thirdly, my work, fulfilling my calling in the best way possible while serving as many women as I can in a life-changing, high-quality way. Now, would I have loved in the past few years to have a great love life as well, and spend more time with my friends and spend more time on horseback and singing and dancing? Yes, I would. And now I can feel that this time is coming again in my life, but there was no time and energy for that before. Okay, I needed to focus on those 3 things first. Those were the things that I really needed to focus on, and I did. And I'm not someone who's born with great focus. I'm someone who wants to do everything at the same time and is drawn in 100 different directions. So this is something that my son being born, the fact that I needed to support him financially, the fact that I struggled so much with my childhood trauma, that's what made me focus so much on myself, my son, my calling. That was all there was space for, and that was really, really important for me that I did that. And now my world is opening up again. I feel like I've mastered those areas, and now I have time and space for more, for different things. Once you have that in place, then it's all about consistency. Okay, one of the biggest keys to success is taking consistent action. Okay, having a clear strategy in place for every part of your business, the content creation, the client calls, the sessions, the selling. You need to have a clear strategy for it, and then you need to apply it consistently. Okay, not switch strategies every second week on a whim, right? And for me, the key to consistency really is devotion. It's easy to consistently show up for your business if you are fulfilling your soul mission and serving your dream clients, right? I'm so devoted to helping those I can serve. Like, look at me here today, right? I had a huge shock today when that ceiling came down, and I'm still showing up here, right? Because I'm devoted to help and to constantly show up for those who need me. Yeah. So let me know if you have questions about any of this. Tanya, can you expand on that question so I can help you better? What exactly is your question? Do you mean a boundary, or do you mean, is that really what you mean? Or do you mean a limitation that you experience, how you push through that? So let me know, please. Now, yeah, if you too want this kind of success, then becoming my apprentice is really a straightforward path to having everything that you need for it in one place, right? The inner work, the outer work, it's all part of the apprenticeship. Your self-care, your self-healing, the shamanic training, the holistic business coaching. You need all of that for success as a healer, and the apprenticeship offers it all in one place as one coherent journey, so it will be easy to implement step by step. With me by your side and with our super loving community of apprentices there to support you and cheer you on, and our wonderful Barbie as well. There are so many success stories from within the apprenticeship that I could talk about, like from those who made their full investment back in the first month after finishing the apprenticeship, to those who start earning even earlier as my affiliate, to women who healed themselves from serious illnesses during the training, others who started out timid and scared and ended up as confident goddesses, others who finally found the courage to get out of abusive relationships, others stopped smoking, yet others found their fulfillment in their relationships with their children. Right, so this is the apprenticeship is all about creating your successful soulful healing business, but really your whole life is just going to get a lot better because you have such a big focus on self-care, self-love, self-healing, right? And my favorite success story is, of course, Barbie, right? You all know her, you all love her. She's my sister, she's my right hand in my business. She was my apprentice, right? And then when she graduated, she started to work with me. And now she's an active part of the apprenticeship, supporting everyone. And she created her own business, The Seeker's Place, together with her partner, Bobby. And now she created the New Earth Shaman podcast, together with another wonderful apprenticeship graduate, with Sarah. And you know, what's so amazing about this kind of success is that it is shared and that it is multiplied, right? My apprenticeship, my apprentices' success is defined not only by the money that they end up making, but by the relationships that they create with each other and with their clients, and the healing results that their clients receive, who in turn go on to positively influence their environment, and so on, right? So the circle of love just grows bigger and bigger. And you can have that too, right? You can have that too. So I would love for you to be an apprenticeship graduate success and celebrate you. So click on that link in the description. Don't miss out on this chance to be part of the Goddess Initiation, because it will be absolutely fabulous. This is the only round that I offer this amazing journey, and you get it for free as well. So click on that link in the description, schedule a chat with me tomorrow. I close registration in 24 hours, and I have no idea when I'm going to open the apprenticeship again, because it is almost full, almost at full capacity. I have 3 spaces left at this point. So yeah, so if you want this, then schedule a chat with me to find out if it's right for you or not. I will honestly tell you if I think it's a perfect fit or not. Good, so let me just check your comments. Everyone on the recording also, pop any questions that you have into the comments, and I'm happy to follow up with you there and then. So Tanya said, I wrote my vision before. I charge less to help more people, but I feel unvalued and earn a lot less. If I charge more, I feel people will think I do it for the money, and it's not fair that only those who can afford work with me. Ooh, this is a really interesting one. So it's actually not like that. You're not going to help more people just because you charge less. That's not actually how it works. I tried that. I did all of my work on donation basis, and I might have helped more people, but I helped them less. So what I really want is the best possible result for my clients. And if I want that for them, then it means I will have to invest my time and energy. That's why I don't believe in DIY products so much. I know that what people most need is support, right? So they need someone to actually hold their hand while they go on this journey, on this life-changing journey that you provide for them. So I don't offer single healing sessions, right? I offer this big, deep transformational process. And if I don't charge well for it, then I will not have the time and energy to support these women through it. And also, in earning more, I still end up helping a lot more people, because I can offer things for free, like the session that I'm offering here right now, right? Like the 5-day challenge that is also free, that I do from time to time, which costs me like 4,000 to 5,000 euros every time I do it. So I would never be able to do that if I didn't earn the money that I do, and I would never be able to work as little as I do, have an assistant, right? I wouldn't be able to spend so much time with myself. That would mean I wouldn't be so inspired by spirit. So no, charging more makes a lot of sense, Tanya. Absolutely a lot of sense. And you know what the biggest reason for charging more is that people are going to receive from you more fully. I could really see that in my offerings, that it's those where people invest in themselves more where they get the biggest results. And that's just logical because it's an energy exchange. That's how life works. This is an innate part of life. Money is just an expression of that energy exchange, right? So, yeah. So, as long as your heart is in the right place and you know who you want to help and you have an amazing offering that solves a real problem, right? That is just really valuable to people, then you can't even charge enough, right? I know that the apprenticeship is definitely not a cheap offering, but I also know that it's worth 10 times what I charge for it. So I can confidently charge that. And yeah. So I hope this helped. I look forward to having some chats with you tomorrow. A few of you have already scheduled them. I have a few more open spots. So schedule your chat with the link above. And yeah, lots of love for now. I hope this was an inspiring session. If you have any questions for me coming up, put them into the comments. Lots of love for now. Bye bye.